A study has recently been made with 100 students in order to analyze the different patterns that can be seen after high school studies. Today we are receiving 3 young adults who has taken the 3 types of path that can be choose after high school. Our first guest is Brendan, a 19-year-old student who belongs to the category that we call the navigators. Hello Brendan, can you tell us a bit about the navigators?
Hi guys, I'm Brandon, and I'm part of the group of students that are going directly from high school to college without taking a year off or a gap year. They called us the navigators. Why? Because our mind is already cleared about what we want to do later in life, based on our experiences, the things that we like, and also the role models that we have in our life that are making the same job that we want to do later. So that's why we are not taking a year off to think about ourselves and thinking about what interests us to for what we want to do later in life. So that's why we're not losing time and going directly to college and already start learning about what we want to do. And for sure, on many articles and blogs, there are some negative points about it. The major negative points are that maybe when I'm going to be in my second or third year in my program, I'm going to realize that this is not for me. This job is not for me. This program is not for me, and I'm not liking it. So people are telling that I had lost 2 or 3 years of my life learning something that won't help me in life and I won't use later in my future career. And yeah, that's mostly what the navigators are and what we are, what type of students that we are. So that's quite about it for me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Brendan. Now let's watch a reportage about Maria, a student that belongs to the category of the drifters. Hello Maria, now that you have finished high school, what are your plans for the future?
I have just finished high school and I don't know what to do with my life. I think I just might travel for a while. But to travel you need money, right? Lucky me, I just got hired at McDonald's.
A lot of drifters choose to work for a while in order to make money and eventually go discover the world. We are now meeting Maria again after 6 months working at McDonald's.
$500. And I only had to work 40 hours a week for 6 months. Now I'm headed to Mexico.
One of the problems with the drifters is that as soon as they are finished traveling and that they don't have money no more, they easily fall back in the comfort of their parents' home. Here is Maria after 1 year in Mexico.
Oh well, I spent all my money traveling. Now I'm back at my parents' house.
Fortunately, most of them take advantage of their trip to discover new passion and talents that will eventually guide them in their life. Maria has her own idea.
While I was in Mexico, I learned how to do pottery. And then I had the idea to start a business. Everybody's crazy about them.
Most drifters eventually decide to return to school.
After a year of traveling and chilling at my parents' house, I decided to go back to school to study industrial design to help my flourishing business. And it's going very well.
Thank you, Maria. Now we're going to talk with Leah, a student that is going to teach us more about the third type of student, the explorers.
During this transition from high school into a stable career path, young people can easily change their path. There are many options, and it can rapidly become overwhelming. While some are certain of their choices, and others don't know what to do with their life, many tend to explore numerous career paths. They are called the explorers. This type of young people is using his time to broaden his abilities. Explorers like to put themselves into places where they can grow and meet new people. They are always looking for opportunities to experiment with new skills. Explorers often have a great resume, but it can give a bad image of themselves if they are exploring too long. They can easily lose their competitive advantage to the navigators, who appear to have a deeper sense of purpose. Explorers can become overwhelmed with the choices they generate or buried by their depths while looking for new options. They will appear to both their parents and future employers to have a lack of commitment and focus. Being an explorer also means that you are responsive to a globalized labor market, where shifting job opportunities are requiring young people to adapt to the hundreds of new job titles emerging every year. In conclusion, explorers might have an idea of career, but they rarely stick to it. They prefer exploring many fields before making an official choice.
Thank you, Leah. To conclude today's program, we are receiving Ariane, an academic counselor who is going to talk about the advantage and the disadvantage of the gap year.
What I have found from my research is that taking a gap year can be a real advantage to most post-secondary students. For example, navigators gives them the opportunity to discover new career paths and new career choices. It also gives them the opportunity to don't rush into anything too quickly and too heavily. For explorers, it gives them the opportunity to discover more places and get to meet new people. It gives them the opportunity to get a fuller experience curriculum and to not look as unexperienced to new employers as they would if they didn't have a gap year. If they didn't take a gap year, sorry. For drifters, what I have found for them is that taking a real structured gap year gives them the opportunity to get the real intrinsic motivation and to not rush into anything too big or too intense for them. It's really important for them that they really take a step back and do things slowly. If I can give you an advice, is that for parents, if you are a parent, you should talk to your children about taking a gap year, because it's a real benefit that can help a lot of kids get to know their real career path and to not rush into something they wouldn't want to. If I can give an advice to all the students that are watching right now, I would say if you are thinking about taking a gap year after high school, I would recommend to you that you talk to a parent or talk to a counselor or talk to your surrounding, because it's really important to get to know what it is and what it can give you.
Thank you, Ariane. This is all we had for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next week. Good evening.